Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
The old gods and the new. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Winter is Blooming, a Game of Thrones rewatch podcast by us, the Penny Bloom Podcast. I am Colton Robertson, and today I am joined by, surprise, motherfucker, Joseph George. What's up, buddy?
Whoa! What up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here, man.
Been too fucking long. It's been too long.
It has been. I don't know what's been going on lately, but glad to finally be back, man.
Finally. No, it's not like you haven't been on for 10 straight pods in the last 2 weeks. I mean,
yeah, I guess these last couple weeks have been pretty good, huh? We've having quite the stack of content, which I don't know. I've actually listened to a lot of our podcasts now. It's just that I'm going back to school and I'm walking from class to class a lot. I have a lot of downtime and stuff like that. So I just, instead of popping on music, I just pop in our old pods, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I felt about that movie. And it is really fun to listen to them back now. I never used to do that, but now I do.
Since I'm a delivery driver, I'm typically because part of it is, I edit the podcast, but if there's nothing that I expressly feel as we're recording that needs to get edited out, I don't edit it. I throw the theme song at the front, I save it, and I submit it to go. Then I go back and listen and make sure I didn't sound like a complete and utter idiot when it's out.
Yeah.
That's how I go about it.
Yeah, there hasn't really been a time yet where I've been like, ooh, I don't know if I agree with what I said there anymore. I don't think nothing like that has happened quite yet. But,
you do it for long enough and you will.
Oh, definitely.
I go back and listen to some of the very early days pods here, and I go, oh my fucking God. People probably, there are probably people who have gone and listened through and been like, is this motherfucker lying? About the way I feel about things, because it's just evolved so much. I've been doing this for almost 4 years now. May will be 4 years the pod has existed. And for you, it'll probably coming up on, this August, September will be more like 3 years for you. You're probably, because September 2020, I think, is about when we started the Mandalorian rewatch officially.
Sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
It's been a while. We've been on it. But, anywho, sorry for all that. The tangent there. We don't usually start the episode off that way. But we're talking Game of Thrones, Season 2, Episode 6. This is The Old Gods and the New, written by Vanessa Taylor and directed by David Nutter, the Nut Man.
Hey, they were in their bag this one because, to tie it in with that, I guess, now that we're breaking down each episode of Game of Thrones, I can go back and see how I felt each episode now, and not even maybe go back and see how I felt, but more of I'm getting a better understanding of what happened in what season, what happened where now, which is really nice, because this episode was an episode that was holy shit, they were just foot was on the pedal the whole time.
Moment after moment. I was because I remembered all of these scenes. Pretty much every single one of the scenes that happened, I remembered. Yeah. But I didn't remember them all being in the same fucking episode. The fact that Theon kills Sir Roderick, at the very fucking beginning. That's in the first 8 minutes of this episode, and then Joffrey tells his guards to kill all the common people. The Hound saves Sansa. Tyrion smacks the shit out of Joffrey. There were
Egret.
John and Egret meet.
Danny, like her dragons get taken. Like, it's like, oh my God. Like, I thought that this episode happened over the span of like 3 episodes, being honest, like everything that happened in it. So it's like,
and I'll say, a couple episodes back, Garden of Bones was rated one of our worst so far. And that was also written by Vanessa Taylor.
Garden of Bones?
That was
episode 4. Yeah, episode 4. Gotcha.
That was also Vanessa Taylor written. I gotta say, even though that was still good, it's not like she needed to redeem herself or anything. If she needed to, though, redemption found. This episode was fucking incredible.
Yeah, maybe not just redemption. Maybe it's better just to say, like, this is the precedent that they've set for themselves now. Let's see if they can do even better.
Vanessa Taylor fucked on this one.
Yeah, they did. And that's the thing, is that the reason that this show impresses me so much is that they can have so many different storylines that are all written as detailed as an entire show is, basically, but still display it in a way that's you're not lost, or you're not like, I don't know, even if you don't pick up on every minute detail, you're still in on the bigger picture that's happening, because I, without a doubt, am understanding the show way more on this watch than I am on my first or even my second.
Yeah, for sure.
But like now, I just see that they've just made it in a way that it is beautiful for new fans, and the more you watch it, it only gets better. Like, it's
infinitely rewatchable. Like, cause I'll tell you, like, I was on a fucking foot on the pedal. I've been watching shit this year. Like, through January, I watched way more movies than I am comfortable saying. And so, like, I've been kind of burnt out the first week of February. Like, I've watched 3 movies in the first week of February, which is good for most people, far less than I've been on average. So like, I've been like not wanting to watch anything. I've been reading a lot of comics lately. That's kind of what I've been doing in my free time. I turn something on. I don't really watch it. I'm reading comic books while I'm watching it. But I turned Game of Thrones on last night, and not just because I have a podcast about it was I seared to the fucking television. Like, I'm looking, like, everything I've been turning on for the last week, I've been going, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get on my phone and look at this. I watched this, it ended, and I was like, that's it? Give me more. I want more. Like, straight up, I thought we might be halfway through the episode when it ended. Whenever Danny and Zarozo and Doxus are walking up the stairs there, I was like, frankly, we could still have half this episode left. I didn't check the time once throughout the episode. I was just like, oh, and then it ended.
That's a good metric to base an episode off if you like it. Like, how many times you've gotten on your phone, that's a good metric. Like, to see if it got you in the whole time and not to get you on your phone once, that's hard. And then, like, if you check the time of the episode, it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Yeah,
it's
either like, God, when is this going to end? Or, God, I hope this doesn't end soon.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
And you're right with this episode. I was in. Like, I didn't really think about that. Like, when I watched The Last of Us, I am in. I am not on my phone. That is a show that I watched one time, and I am like, I got every single second of that episode because my eyes were glued.
Kansas City, Missouri representation on The Last of Us last week in episode 4.
I'm trying to think of a show that I'm kind of more just like, yeah, I'll throw it on, but I'll pull up my phone every now and then and get back into it. I might miss a good 5 minutes of it, but I'll jump back in and not really have to rewind or care.
Hey, I've been rewatching Superman and Lois, and that's the attitude I have. Obviously, it's a rewatch. So, I know what happens, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not looking away for a fucking second. Like, that's some good shit right there.
That's true.
But anywho, I think we got about 6
we were right.
Locations.
We might be. There was a little lag that happened there. We might want to reset, actually.
No shit.
Because whenever you brought up Superman and Lois, you kind of just for like 5 seconds, just like didn't say anything, but then you like were all back. So I don't know. We might just want to see how that.
I see.
Because I think we're now delayed, possibly because my camera. Well, actually,
I got you just fine.
Oh, actually, never mind. I was a little slow for a second. Now I'm not. So
Yeah, you're chilling. You've been chilling.
okay,
Yeah, we're good.
okay,
We're good.
never mind. Okay, well, sorry, editing now.
No, yeah, that's fine.
You have to-
9 minutes in, I can keep track of that. But we do have about 6 locations here, and this is it's a goodie. So, what do you say we go ahead and jump on in?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's begin at Winterfell, where the episode kicked off. And I didn't realize this is the first, last episode, it was like they're doing the siege of Torrhen Square. This episode we kick off and they have raided Winterfell. Like that is how we start the episode. And Maester Luwin is frantically trying to send off a raven and manages to do it just before a band of raiders from the Iron Islands led by Theon take over the castle. And Theon had lured those 200 men away and ended up infiltrating the castle with just 12 men and some grappling claws. And Theon tells Bran as much. And this part, a couple weeks back, we mentioned a character that is just so pathetic, it's almost embarrassing to watch sometimes. This is one of those scenes. Like, for a dude who's like, yep, we're taking it by force. Him practically asking Bran if it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take you down there and you're going to tell everyone that you're giving it over to me. He's like, no, I won't. He's like, dude, come on, man. He's like, come on. You just have to give your castle to me, okay? I did everything I was supposed to. Just give me your castle. Oh, yeah, this dude just absolutely blows.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Alfie Allen's fantastic as Theon Greyjoy, though. Like, a very, very talented actor. I'll never forgive him for killing John Wick's dog, though.
Wait, he's the actor? That
he's
is
the actor,
right.
He's the actor who kills John Wick's dog.
Yeah, he just sucks in Hollywood.
Everything.
I guess
everything Alfie Allen's in, he's gonna fucking blow.
If he's being cast, maybe that's what he specifically looks for. Is this character one of the most hated in the show or movie? Give it to me.
Let's see if Alfie Allen wants the gig, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's fantastic at it. He's a really great actor, and the kind of struggle that he has with this episode is really cool, where like he is obviously feigning that he is confident in his decisions. He feels like he is, he's obviously not. He still does not know for sure that this is what he wants to do. It's what he feels like he has to do. Because he is a pussy and feels he needs the approval of the Iron Ironborn.
He really just did this on a whim. He was like, because he was supposed to go out and just like kill some fishermen. That was it. But then he was like, all right, actually, here's a plan that I think would work because this is how the North works. And if I do that, I guess I can get Winterfell for a little bit. Like really, it was just because he was humiliated in front of his father, and then his sister even humiliated him further in front of all the crew. So he's like, how do I win? How do I get a win? And that's what he did. Like, that's all this was. It wasn't like, because whenever he was challenged, actually given the questions of like, when Maester Luwin and everyone, eventually, like, you get there, he realizes like his mistake, and he's like, he's like, actually, like, wait a minute, like, have I fucked up? And he's like, no, I am too far gone. But
sorry, my dogs are upstairs barking their asses off if that comes through for a second.
But yeah, it's more sad to see him like go down this path, like, because I eventually just feel like bad for him for Reek and everything, but like now I feel like I'm more of like, he deserves becoming Reek. Like that's now,
the thing,
yeah,
is that like he just like. There comes a point where, for about 15 minutes, you're very happy that he's getting tortured by Ramsay. And then, like, after that, you're like, man, did he deserve all of this, though? Like, yeah, he deserves some pretty bad shit to happen to him. I'd rather him just have a nice, quick, clean death than get his dick chopped off and have to get tied up and nails stuff under his fingernails and, like... Oh my god, the shit that they do to Theon later on is terrible. And he earns
betray his whole family though. Like, family, but like, I mean, come on.
Did you Theon, did you hate us the whole time?
He was speaking as the Raven there. Like, I don't know. Every time Bran says something, like, there's times in this episode where, like, in this episode where he's, like, actually anxious and worried and obviously just a kid. But, like, whenever he says that, he goes into, like, a different, like, he went into, like, this, did you even like us at all? Like, he's like, he knew what was gonna happen. He saw Sir Roderick die, and it's like, he sees that already. But I guess, like, being the Third Eye, they're becoming, like, I don't really know. I still don't know how the fuck any of that works. So, like, anything Bran says, I always just look at it as, like, he knows everything that's already happened already. Yeah. But he's not unlocked it yet, you know? So it's
that's the thing. At any given point, the Bran from the future could be projecting himself onto Bran in the past. And, like, you know, because that's...
So whenever he's asking Theon, did you love us at all? That could be future Bran asking him, like, I know that you die and I know your full history. Dude, I want to ask right now.
The fact that this man changed the course of Hodor's life when he was like 10 changes everything. You know, like, that makes me go, he could be interacting with anything at any point from the future. You know, like, this dude could be doing fucking anything. Like, whenever they go into that memory of, like, Ned's, whenever he's about to, like, run up into the castle where his sister's giving birth, and he's like, Dad! And Ned, like, pauses, like, young Ned pauses and turns around for a second. Like, that's him interacting with the world, but not being there. Like, that's some weird shit.
But that's before his time.
Even. That's before Bran was even alive. Yeah,
so
that's before Jon or Robb was alive. It's when Jon was getting birthed.
So that's
you know,
the thing. Like, it's not even just like now he has access to all. It's like it's all time. Like, yeah. So
because once Bran becomes the Three-Eyed Raven, which he does, he now has access to anything ever, even the events of the show right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no, I don't think he necessarily is doing that.
No.
But it's something to look out for. If you ever think Bran's acting weird, it's a distinct possibility that he's doing some shit. But nevertheless, Theon escorts Bran down to the castle square where Bran hands Winterfell over to Theon. Says, yeah, we're going to listen to Theon, everybody. It's all right. This will be over soon. We'll figure this out. That's kind of Bran's attitude about the whole thing, is that he's like, this is Theon, man. Y'all know Theon. Theon's a bitch. He's not going to do shit.
They were calling him out right then and, like, yeah, people were like, they knew that they could be killed for that, like, sort of speak, and they're like, I still don't care. Like,
yeah, Theon goes, you all know me, and that guy's like, yeah, we know you to be a right little cunt. You know, like...
Immediately. God, and Theon said he had to have think that this was going to be a badass moment, and everyone was going to be like, yes, Prince Theon, like, so sad.
Little pussy.
God.
Little pussy. It's just so pathetic. Like, it's overwhelmingly pathetic, because he can't even pull off a beheading. Right. You know, like, Sir Roderick, captured by Theon's men, returns from Torrent Square, and, he's like, oh, you little fucking bitch. And Theon's like, oh yeah? What are you gonna... Get spit on his face, and he's like, take him to the cells. He's gonna rot forever. And Dagmar's like, hey man, I'm not gonna lie to you. It doesn't matter that we took over Winterfell. If you don't kill this guy right now, none of us are gonna respect you.
Straight up. I mean, it's pretty ultimatum. But I guess the Iron Way, like their ways,
it's like the Iron Price.
I guess it's straight up, and I love the angel and devil on the shoulder imagery here of like Maester Luwin being like, Theon, please think about what you're doing. He is worth way more to you alive. The Starks will pay.
I loved that line. Because Luwin's, Theon makes the point. You are the maester assigned to Winterfell. You serve the Lord of Winterfell, right? I'm your lord. And he's like, okay, if I'm providing counsel, this is the counsel I'm going to provide. The Starks will pay. Keep this man alive. And, that's a little, they don't need Sir Roderick Cassell alive. They don't. That's not going to, it's not going to help the Ironborn in any way, shape, or form. but still, I love the framing of it by him saying the Starks will pay. Let's leave this guy alone.
Mm.
And he's like, nah, can't do that. I also love the actor for Dagmar. What's his name? Ralph Ineson. I think of great actor. I actually just recently he was in Willow, the Disney Plus series. He did a great job in that as well. But yeah, Dagmar, cool guy. Not the character. The character's a dick. But that's what's funny is he's less of a dick than Theon is, because at least this is just like all Dagmar knows.
Yeah,
like
the dick tier level is there's multiple tiers to Game of Thrones dick level. Like there's Joffrey is not even close to this guy. There's
Dagmar's
people
just
that,
like, hey man, I'm gonna be fucking real with you. Like, he doesn't know Roderick. He doesn't know any of these motherfuckers. He's not like spiteful towards the Starks or anything. He's not betraying anybody. No. He's just going, hey man, for real, I ain't gonna fuck with you if you don't kill this guy.
He's like, he spit on your face and we all saw it. And if you don't kill him, I will literally go back home and not think of you as anything else.
And they didn't even have to, like, Dagmar was ready to do that execution. Theon didn't even have to do it. They were like, you can just order this guy to die and we'll be cool with it. In fact, it probably would have gone better with the Ironborn if Dagmar would have done it. The fact that Theon struggles so hard with this beheading, just, I just got to think that no matter what, the Ironborn are losing respect for him by the second.
Like,
and they already didn't respect him at all.
Sucks the way Sir Roderick went out. Like, yeah, absolutely blows. But for what Sir Roderick wanted to accomplish by his death, could not have gone any better. Like, that is the part that was very good about Sir Roderick's death, if you can take any good of it.
Hey, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this scene, like, again, the impact of watching it week to week and like taking our time with it is that the characters hold a lot more weight with me. I still don't give a fuck about Roderick really, but the words he says mean a lot more in this moment to me than they ever have before. Whenever he tells Bran, it's all right, I'm going to go see your father now. Like, dude, I was like, I got chills talking about it right now. I'm like, that's never resonated with me on the level it did on this watch. And I was like, yo.
Yeah, he was like, may the gods be with you, Theon, for you are already lost, or something like that, you know? And I was like,
was spitting.
I'm like, yeah. And Theon literally, he hears that and he's like, he kind of takes a step back and he realizes like how far he really came. But at that moment, he realizes he cannot do anything other than kill him. Like,
no,
he cannot back out of it, but he knows it's wrong at this point. He does know it's wrong. And I think he does realize that, but he is too far. He's chosen his father. He's chosen that. That's what he's chosen now.
For sure.
And man, the kick, like, he kicks his head off to.
That's the final blow.
Like that. I didn't realize that before. That's rough. Like,
you really butchered a beheading if you hacked him 4 fucking times and then have to kick his head off. You had a rough time. You lost.
I mean, I guess I've never thought about how hard it would be to behead someone. You got to slice through a spine, like, and if you hit the right spot, you're going through like just a little bit of spine, but like, if you got to. Like, I feel like anyone at that time, if you know how to swing a sword, I mean...
It's pretty fucking heavy. Like you're a bitch.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't want to say that I'm capable of doing it right now, but
I think that's a sign of the way Theon feels about this. It's not just that he's a pussy who can't do it. It's that he's a pussy who doesn't want to do it, but feels like he has to. He's like, it's like him lashing out in anger. It's not him being Ned Stark in the first episode being like, this is just what I have to do. It's him being like, no, this is what I have to do. He's a little bitch. He's just a little bitch. And Roderick proves it. And ultimately, after the head comes off, Osha goes ahead and is like, my prince, I will serve you well. Let me serve you. And he's like, fuck you. I helped capture you. Get the fuck out of my face. And then she comes by later on and is like, there are many ways to serve, my lord. And he's like, I'm a prince. There are many ways to serve, my prince. And then she drops Trow, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to fuck Osha real quick. And, while he's asleep, put his ass to sleep.
Yeah, it's canon. It is canon that Osha had Theon sleep through the night because she fucked him so good. That's literally a story element in the show. And that's amazing.
Put his ass to sleep.
That's amazing. She knew. It's so easy. Theon was smart enough to be like, oh, give you a spear and have you kill me? Yeah, right. I'm not that dumb. Invite you into my bed and have sex while you could probably kill me at any time, but my PP is thinking for me. Oh, okay. Like, yeah, no thought there, so that I love how just sex comes first and then, the actual thought comes second. But I don't know. Yeah. I just love that that's an actual story element in the show. I don't know. That's insane. You can't. I don't know. You can't just like a Netflix show. That's just, I don't know. You can't. That's not normal for TV, and it's insane that it's just that is one of the most normal things that could happen in this show, though. Like, I don't know.
This is just average television for Game of Thrones. This is just any given day. He's like, "What do you want me to give you a spear, so you can kill me? No, I'll give you a spear, and you'll put my ass to sleep."
What does it say in the breakdown for this moment? Does it say that like Osha so good put him to sleep, or does it just say like they slept together?
It says later that night. It says later that night, Osha, the wildling woman, has sex with Theon, but then sneaks out of his room while he's asleep.
So they're just very literal with it. Yeah. So they're just literal with it, but we know,
They don't know, but we know.
Yeah, we know.
But yeah, she uses this opportunity to sneak them out of Winterfell, which is crucial. Bran, Hodor, Rickon, and their dire wolves. I loved Summer and Shaggy cruising behind. No Hodors, unfortunately. I was wanting like a little whispered Hodor, like Hodor.
Damn it!
Nothing. But yeah, she also kills one of Theon's guards again, just using her sexuality to murder motherfuckers. Absolutely fantastic. I think literally grabs his dagger while kissing him and slits his throat.
Yep.
She's a badass. She was this close to being my favorite character of the episode. Close.
Yeah, she was like, Theon sent me to service every guy this night. I'm here to keep you
to make the rounds.
Yeah, and I'm here to keep you warm. Makes him cold.
So funny instantly. To me that this dude was just like, that makes sense.
Yep.
Let's do it.
That's my prince. Honestly, at that time.
Oh, they're all down. I'd go. I'm almost certain Theon has some sort of STI. I'm good.
They don't know that. They don't know that back then.
They don't know.
It's just a big pool.
That does conclude the story in Winterfell, and it takes us to the Westerlands, where King Robb is making his rounds. And this part, I don't know what's so fucking funny about it to me. But him just like walking through the camp, doesn't say a word, just shakes everyone's hand and just kind of like waves. He grabs that one dude's helmet and looks at it, and then hands it to him.
Nice. I'm a good king. It's just to show that he's a good king and people love him. It's like
I love it. I love it. It's also just so funny that nobody says a word.
I think Rob says one word.
The humility.
One word. He goes up to one person and he says, "Friend," and walks away. They just laugh at that. They don't even respond. He just says, "Friend." That's the only word he says that whole walk. Friend.
King Robb. You're a hell of a man. But this is one of the cutest scenes between him and Talisa. I just absolutely loved the way they were all flirty, and then Catelyn walks up and he's like, "Oh, Mom, this is Lady Talisa." I love the shit they were giving each other about like, "Oh, how do you know I'm a lady?" And he's like, "Oh, you're a lady. Oh, I know you're a lady." I absolutely loved that. And the way that when they introduced Catelyn's like, "All right, I get that my son's really into you, but I do not approve," and you can just tell.
Yeah. She caught on instantly because she pulled up and Rob was like, hey, I'd like you to meet this lady, like he was instantly nervous about it.
Oh yeah.
And then like Kat's look, like her face was just, she instantly had that eyebrow raised, like, okay, I see what's going on here,
she
son.
doesn't even wait. She, like, Talisa walks away and she goes, "You're promised to another. You know that, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, Mom, I fucking know." I just like to think, because here, Roose Bolton arrives with the terrible news that Theon has taken Winterfell and Roderick is dead. And Rob's like, well, we got to march back.
Yep.
We can't just let that stand. And I love to think about what could have been if they just go, you know what? Let's trade. Let's trade Jaime for Sansa and Arya. Let's go back to the north. We'll just cross back at the Twins. The Freys will let us through.
Dang.
He gets to marry Talisa. They go back to Winterfell and take it back.
Oh no. Well, Joffrey would not. I don't know. The peace trade, if it were to go through, the Starks honor it and they're cool. The Lannisters are backstabby. I still think they try to rid the Starks of the North.
I could see them marching on. I could see them marching on Winterfell, but that's the thing that's like that Winterfell's like notorious for, is that they don't lose Winterfell.
That's true. Okay.
There's only one army that's ever lost Winterfell, and it's the one that they decide to send to Winterfell to take it back from the Ironborn, led by Ramsay.
I see. That makes sense. I guess if that does go through, the North just becomes its own entity at some point. At that, I feel like they're too far gone, like, to go back to peace, now. But I maybe in a while. But yeah, man, that would have been a nice if Rob was like, let's actually just go home.
It's going to go how it's going to go. They're doing a whole different thing. Like, the North doesn't achieve what it set out to do at this point if they decide to march back, and Roose makes that argument, which fucking sucks now that we know what Roose does. He's the one who puts a dagger in Robb Stark. Like,
man, and that's the thing. He was making sense here. Like, it's like, you're so far forward. You've made so much progress. You are the king. Demand people to do stuff for you now. And I'm like, okay, this is a very important lesson for Rob to learn. Yes. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, look who it's coming from.
We're still at 15,000 men, bro. Send 1,000 of them back to Winterfell.
Yeah.
Fuck Roose. Fuck Ramsay. Don't listen to him. Take a contingent of your army. Send fucking Great John to take Winterfell back for you. I don't know. I just don't think.
What if he went back? No, because you can't really call the shots from. You got to really be with the army to call the shots. He can't just be sitting in Winterfell.
Different time.
Yeah,
it's different. So, you got to be leading your army to still be king. But yeah, man. Rob ultimately agrees to Bolton's proposal, and he orders them to take Theon alive so he can look him in the eyes and ask why before killing him himself. I was like, bar. Love this guy. Love Robb Stark. But that does conclude the story in the Westerlands, and it takes us to Harrenhal.
Oh yeah.
And this is another place where a scene that I remembered vividly.
Yes. Like, oh my god, I remembered. That is the thing about this episode. Not even, like, I remembered lines of this episode. Like, there were times in this episode where I knew exactly what was about to happen, but I had no idea that it was happening this episode. Like, I know this episode is so memorable, but so forgettable of when it happens in the timeline of Game of Thrones, I guess, because, like, I'm watching this scene and I'm like, oh my god, these are some of my favorite scenes of, like, just of these storylines. And they're playing, like, it's Harrenhal. This is where it really starts to spice up, let's just get to it. I don't want to jump the gun too far, but yeah.
At Harrenhal, the main base camp for the Lannisters, Tywin is berating Sir Amory Lorch for delivering a letter to their enemies instead of their allies, because he cannot read properly, and he discovers that his cupbearer, Arya, known as Airy to him, can read. In fact, when he requests a book of the greater and lesser houses, it's that, and then she manages to pick it up before he even gets a chance to finish explaining. And he's like, look at that shit. Look at that. My cupbearer knows how to read better than you fucking idiot. And I loved this scene. Whenever he sends him off, sends everyone away, dismisses all of them, and he's like, you know what? Maybe I ought to have you draw up our next battle plans. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, do that and see what happens.
Like, oh, I will. But whenever Lord Peter Baelish pulls up and he's like, clear this off, the way she tenses, like fuck, this dude could recognize me, and does, and keeps it to himself.
She's been comfortable this whole time. She's been like, it's nice that I'm this close to Tywin, but he has no idea who I am. I'm so safe, but yet kind of still in danger. And now I have a new friend in Jack and Agar. I'm feeling good.
Yeah. The way she
someone knows, and then she's like, someone knows who the fuck I am. She's like so oh man.
The way she keeps her cool though, like she's already built for this a little bit, man. Whenever Tywin holds out his cup and she turns her back really naturally, I don't think you don't think anything of it if you're not looking for it. And she I was like, oh, she's good at this shit. But Peter's discussing the assassination of Renly and the subsequent rallying of the noble houses from the Stormlands over to Stannis, and how the House Tyrell has retreated and they've gone back to Highgarden. And he's like, yo, we could really use them. And this is what I was talking about, either last week or the week before, when I was like, oh, shit. They could just, I was like, I guarantee you Peter's going to be the one who brings the proposal to the table. He did it here. He was like, basically, not in so many words, he's like, Marjorie wants to be queen. And Loras wants revenge.
Yeah. Okay.
Could really use them.
That is.
And Tywin's like, okay, I'll think about it. Okay.
And the whole time, I was just looking at how much Littlefinger was looking at Arya the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, when is he gonna start to pick up, or whatever?
He looks she keeps showing his face, and he keeps taking glances at her, and then he finishes the conversation with, and I wanted to talk to you about Catelyn Stark and her daughters.
Before he says that though, his eyes are locked on Arya. It was he was looking at her, whatever, and then him and Tywin's conversation ended. She spilt on him, and then that's whenever he got an actual look at her. And then he was like, wait a minute. And then he looked, and then when she walked away, his eyes did not move from her. And the way he said daughters, okay.
No. He either definitely knows, or he is pretty sure and is trying to get a read on her response to him saying something like this. Which she doesn't let on. She just leaves the fucking room.
How lucky for Littlefinger, though, because he told Catelyn, yeah, both of your daughters are safe. Look what happens to Sansa this episode, Ish. And then Arya, kind of safer than Sansa, I guess, right now, actually.
Insane. Yeah.
But, yeah, just so happens to tell, Cat, yeah, both of your daughters are safe. We know exactly where they are. He had zero fucking clue where Arya was, and then...
I'm just trying to imagine Littlefinger being like what's going through his head. He's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, he's like,
you're telling me Arya Stark? You're telling me Arya Stark is the goddamn cupbearer to Tywin Lannister right now in Casterly Rock at Harrenhal. That's what's happening. Okay.
Because when he went back to King's Landing, his first thing had to have been we have to find Arya. That had to be one of the big ticket things, because he's like, if this promise goes through, we have to have Arya to trade, trade for them. So he would have to look for Arya, but just so happens that on his way, back to King's Landing, I guess, stopping by Harrenhal, here's Arya right here. But yeah, I don't know. I think he knows. At that point, he knows it is Arya. And because I don't know what happens next, episode with with him. Does he know that it was Arya, and then he goes back and tells people, or does he like let it just fester and like let it play out? Because I don't know if he actually uses the information for anything.
No, he keeps this shit to himself. 100%.
Okay.
Never brings. This is something he put in his back pocket and was like, I'll use this whenever I can, but he never gets a chance to use it because she leaves Harrenhal before the end of the season. You know, like she's not there for much longer.
Yeah.
But
okay. Okay, that's true.
But yeah, later on, Tywin questions her about where she came from. You know, where'd you learn to read? My dad, a mason who knew how to read. That's an impressive man. And while Tywin is distracted after Arya asks him about his father, she steals a little letter on the table about her brother Robb. And Tywin is like, he gets all thoughtful and vulnerable with Arya, and then is like, I'm kind of cold. And she's like, I'll go get you some firewood. Cool. And she takes the opportunity to read the letter, but unfortunately bumps into the man who is out of Tywin's favor right now and has a perfect chance to get right back in. So he's like, oh, okay, fuck yeah, I'll take this. Let's see what he really wanted from you. And Arya's like, God damn it, gotta waste one of the fucking names. Jockin, Amory Lorch. And he's like, a girl says a second name. Now, chill the fuck out. Okay, a girl cannot tell a man when a thing is to be done. Okay, now, I'll do what I can.
It's like, all right. He's like, man, I guess whatever. I am equipped with that talent. I am that guy. So I guess, sure.
I guess it's possible, but this is so inconvenient.
Spits somehow. Dart hits him. Yeah, like I love how they make it seem that he instantaneously teleported and like right after, like this is instant, you know? I don't know. If it is, it could be. I don't know. I don't know.
I took it to be a time gap. There's like maybe a minute that passed, and he made it there.
I guess what we don't see off screen would be Jaqen H'ghar sprinting towards the Tywin's office.
He's scaling something, you know. He's scaling up walls, jumping building to building.
Oh, okay.
Like this man's not just running. Right. He's figuring it out. And he's got it like that. But that does conclude the story at Harrenhal, and it brings us to King's Landing, wherein we're at the royal court, including Joffrey and Cersei and Tommen and Sansa. They're at the dock seeing off Princess Myrcella, who's having a tough time having been shipped off to Dorne. And Cersei is quite sad, and she lets Tyrion know that she just prays that one day he loves someone. He loves a girl, and you know, he's just so over the moon. He just cannot imagine anything happening to her because one day she wants to know that she can take that away from him. And the way Tyrion looks at her and then just walks away, like, yo. I mean, Peter Dinklage put one on in this one. This was cold. This was good.
It is, like, on one hand, he did kind of set up Myrcella for bait for a trap to see who was snitching in the council, but also was just probably a smart move to get Myrcella out of King's Landing. Like, actually just smart. Get her safe. Marry. We need allies. Actually just a smart move. And, like, it does suck. But, like, the move is smart for the war aspect, you know? So, like, he's being a good hand at the king. And I just always love the imagery that every time, like, Tyrion's on screen now, and if he has power over someone, he is shown over them. He was standing on top of the stairs, and Cersei was, like, below, and the shot was looking up, you know, at, like, Cersei, and then you saw, like, just Tyrion above her. And I don't know. They make Tyrion feel so powerful because he is the hand of the king right now. He is doing so much, and he shows how powerful he really is. Later on. I don't know. But this, I'm pretty sure my favorite scene comes out of King's Landing. I think.
Yeah. No, I'm certain,
but
mine definitely does, because this scene has so much going for it, and it starts here.
Yeah.
Where they depart from this departure of Myrcella, and they're making their way through the streets. It starts here and ends after Sansa's saved.
Is that safe to call that a scene?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever Joffrey gets shit on to
Joffrey,
Sansa being saved, basically.
Yeah, I don't know how to define it as more than maybe it's a scene until they get Joffrey to safety, and then it's a scene after Joffrey. Like, it might be 2 scenes, max 2 scenes, but I'm gonna call it 1 scene. Because this shit rocks. The way they build the tension of everyone being like, "Oh, King, you're a bitch, fuck you," and then one of them throws shit at his face, and that's when I'm like, okay, well, this is my favorite scene. If Joffrey catches shit to the face, it is automatically my favorite scene in the episode. And so
always good to see. Oh, so okay, interesting. Yeah,
and,
it's never, or it's best to see him die. You know, that's the ultimate. I always just want to see him die, but like it is a nice cherry on top just to see some shit thrown in his face.
Shit in the face, man. Like that's not a fun situation to be in.
But man, I really just wanted someone to like gut punch him, or like, you know, just one civilian just to get like a good shot, just absolute land one on him.
I would 50 times more rather get punched in the stomach than have shit thrown at my face.
Yeah.
1000%.
But I think the best person out of this whole scene, it was almost Tyrion. I think Tyrion, he's pretty good here, and he acting, performance, the decision he makes, everything's pretty good here. But Sigor Clegane, the Hound, throughout this entire sequence is like this is my favorite Hound character development right here. It shows who he is perfectly in this situation. He protects Joffrey, and he's telling him, while he's protecting him, like, yeah, they want they want you dead. They all hate the ever living shit out of you. Let me just get you to save, yeah. And he's like, he would want Joffrey to die just as fast as anyone else, but he has to protect him because that's what he has to do. My
favorite thing about this scene is that as soon as Joffrey gets to safety, Sandor Clegane is not told find Sansa.
Nope.
He goes and finds Sansa. Like there's no hesitation about it for him. And
the in between there is also important. Because whenever he's protecting Joffrey, he's mainly scaring people away from him. And he's like literally hissing or like kind of barking at people, literally, and like scaring them away. And he's not really killing anyone. But then whenever Joffrey's in safety, if anyone comes up to test him, they're dead. Like every single person that touched the Hound after he got Joffrey to safety, they died instantaneously. There were three people came up to him, they died. So like, it's not that he will protect Joffrey and, whatever. He will also protect himself. Like he's very, when he's on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think I might have lagged again.
Oh.
I didn't hear like the last 5 seconds.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. Anyway.
No, but I'm with you. Yeah, he's definitely he's doing the bare minimum to protect Joffrey and actually doing things to protect other people, which I think is awesome. And ultimately, a riot erupts and spreads throughout the city, and the royal party they're overwhelmed. I love the way Tyrion sent Tommen the other way. Was like before it ever started, he was like, "Get Tommen back to the castle. Forget about everything else. Like y'all go that way."
Yeah, he was on it instantly.
Like, something is going to happen here, and we need the air out of here. And the High Septon is literally torn apart limb from limb. We talked about this recently, not recently, but within like the last year of like someone like a mob literally attacking someone and ripping off their limbs if that was possible. And I was like, I think it happened in like Rick and Morty. This is actually the example that I was thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it happens in Rick and Morty somewhere too, probably.
It does happen in Rick and Morty, but there was another thing I was thinking about that I was like, what the fuck is it? And it was this.
There it is. Wow. Yeah, I mean, what a way to go. And Tyrion sees it, and Tyrion's like, oh my God. Yeah, he's like, oh, dude, the power of the people. And that's
when he goes in and is like, Joffrey, you fucking idiots. This is my line. This is my line. We've had vicious kings and we've had idiot kings, but I don't think we've ever been cursed with a vicious idiot for a king. And Joffrey's like, I am a king. You do not talk to me like that. And then he smacks the shit out of him. Now I've struck a king.
Yes.
Did my hand fall from my wrist?
Yes, and see the part that I wanted, like a civilian to get, a hit on Joffrey. It feels good that Tyrion hits him. It does feel good, but it's like, man, that is just his uncle. It's like he can hit him. Really, it's the hand of the king too, so it makes sense that it hits him. But like, it would feel even better to come from a civilian. Like, just can you imagine just someone doing that same thing? Like, anyways,
no, yeah, don't get me wrong. That would be very satisfying. I think what this displays is that Joffrey doesn't have as much power as he thinks. Mostly because if a civilian does that, that civilian is instantly put to death.
Yep.
Tyrion does it, and he doesn't do that, which is insane. And Joffrey doesn't retaliate, doesn't tell anyone. And Tyrion's like, someone go find Sansa. And Meryn Trant's like, I take orders from the king. And Tyrion looks back at Joffrey like, you wanna chime in? And he just walks away. So nobody, that's the first time you're watching this, that's the horrific part of this, is that you're under the impression no one is coming to save Sansa. And we cut
so bad
to Sansa nearly being sexually assaulted when the man is turned around, his guts fall out, and everyone else dies. You're all right, little bird. Throws her over the shoulder and walks her on out of there. And I was like, he is such a fucking sweetheart. I know he just gutted a dude, but what a sweetie. What a sweet little boy.
Was interesting that there were 4 guys back here, and he killed 3 of them, gutted one of them, like the first, the main guy, and then killed one of them pretty quick. A guy tried to run. He caught him, killed him. But then there was another dude who was behind him that would watched it all happen, who was left alive. And he I'm surprised that the Hound just didn't kill that dude straight up too.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he just, I don't know. It was really,
maybe that was just I noticed. Message. He was like, you get the idea.
Yeah, I guess oh, no, it's even more badass. You gotta let someone leave to tell the story.
Tell the tale. Yeah.
And that's fear. He's using fear as a tool. Oh, he's the Batman. He's the Game of Thrones Batman, dude.
Andor Clegane, the Batman.
But he is my favorite character of the episode, actually. I think I did say that before, but it's because of the, he's I don't know. There was a lot of development that he showed in just these scenes, very quick. I think a lot of other characters put on very good performances, like Tyrion. Oh my God, his performance was really good. Sansa's performance was really, their performances were really good. They didn't really have a whole lot of character development in this episode per se, unless you want to get to Jon, or later on for some other people. But I loved the Hound this episode. He was the hero of this episode.
Oh, I loved it. So. I loved it. And the line after that when Tyrion's like, thank you. And Tyrion means it, that is what I love, is that the person he was the most worried about, not just because she's a good tool to have for the war, but because he's genuinely worried about her. She doesn't deserve any of this, is Sansa. He's worried about Sansa the whole fucking time. And he tells Sandor, thank you so much for saving her. And he goes, I didn't do it for you. That's
hard.
I love you, the Hound. I love that guy. But Sansa's taken back to the castle. Shay starts taking care of her.
Yeah, and even how he says to take Sansa back to the castle. The little bird is cut. The little bird is bleeding. Take her back to her cage. Like he doesn't even say like take her back to her room. It's like, no, the little bird is hurt.
Well, and it also implies that he knows she's a prisoner.
The
little bird is cut. Take her back to her cage. You know, she is trapped. This is not what she wants. This isn't where she's supposed to be. Take her back to her cage.
It's even better.
The Hound's poetic as fuck. That man
was already my favorite character. Now it's even more set in stone for this episode.
The Hound. I love the Hound. But Sansa talks to Shay briefly before the end of this, before the end of all this, and she tells him, or she tells Shay that, you know, she wishes that they would have done it, that they would have killed the king. And she's like, don't you fucking say that. Okay? You can't trust anybody out here. All right? Stop saying shit like that. She's like, I can trust you, though.
Good people. Yeah, but you're not the wrong kind of people. And like, she's right, but she's directly connected to Tyrion. And that's why she's like, hey, just don't trust
about who you talk to.
Just don't trust anybody. You know, it's just easier that way. And it's sad, you know, that she has to live that way right now. But the position that Sansa is in, she shouldn't trust a single person. Especially in King's Landing.
No, absolutely not. And I love that she has gained someone she feels like she can trust. Sansa needs that, you know, and Shay ultimately does look out for her, like a lot. I'm pretty sure she kills someone for her later on. Like a different handmaiden who's like spying. She threatens her life because Sansa gets her period. And she bled all over the bed and she's trying to cut it out of the mattress, and Shay walks in and is like, flip the fucking mattress. We don't want anyone to find out about this. Like, ain't no way I'm letting Joffrey touch you. And then another handmaiden walks in and she threatens her life and is like, you tell anybody about this and you'll fucking die. Okay? Like, Shay's a real one, you know? Like, she betrays some loyalties hard later on, but I like the way she holds it down for Sansa. But that does mark the end of the story in King's Landing, where we had my favorite scene and my favorite line.
Just my favorite character, I think. The only one that I'm still debating is performance. I'm set on my line and scene. They have not come up yet, actually.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah.
Our next scene takes us beyond the wall, where the scouting party of the Night's Watch, led by Quarren Halfhand, has left the expeditionary base, and their main force is set up at the Fist of the First Men, and they continue searching for the wildlings in the Frost Fangs mountain range. And they encounter a small group of wildling scouts, and one of them takes them out with an arrow. They all fight, and it all leads to Ygritte being the only one left, and Jon has her at sword point. He goes, a girl. He's like, a girl who would kill you if she had the fucking chance, buddy. She wants to cut you. She wants to cut you bad. She was going to grab this axe and bury it in your fucking skull. Be careful.
I don't know. I love the just Jon like being part of the group here though. Like the lessons that he learns like here before they show up. Like everything that's said to Jon now, and I'm thinking everything that's said to Bran with a grain of salt because of the three-eyed raven, and then Jon just because of just who he is. Oh my, you know.
Well, with Jon, more than anybody, they're using him as like an instructional figure. Like people are teaching him lessons all the fucking time. And like that's a plan, you know, like they knew what they were going to do with him. They're like, all these people are informing his rise. You know, like it hasn't even stopped yet. Ygritte informs him of a lot. Mance Rayder informs him of a lot.
It's Bran. It's Bran. It's like, you know how, okay, it's Bran. Whenever I say Bran, I kind of want to say it's like the Force, you know, like in Star Wars sort of like idea. Not like Bran is literally warding and giving him all these lessons. It's more like his, you know, the idea, the good, the prophecy, what's supposed to happen is this good king is supposed to, it's like, let's let this happen, sort of thing. That's how I kind of think of it more, because like no way Bran is just warding absolutely everyone and controlling everything, and it, you know, like no, but like Jon is even asked, like, John says, like, this feels like home. My father always said that the North was my home. And then he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Does this look like
around.
home to you? Yeah, does this look like home to you?
Well, and what's cool is that it does.
Later on, he's running around like it's his home, man. He's like, running.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it does look like my home, Mr.
Ghost. I love how Ghost is out just going to. And I don't know. It's every time that anything like the first men is mentioned, like when Sam mentions it, John is shown next.
Yeah.
And then whenever like it was mentioned of like the North being home, it was like, and then John came into the shot and he's like, yeah, the North was always my home. It's like whenever you first watch, John is still just a bastard at the Night's Watch. You know, you have zero idea. But like, if you know, it's just so cool to know where he goes and seeing all these lessons he's learning. But
this is where he meets his wife.
Oh yeah. Jon Snow. You know nothing.
Jon Snow. No, like real life wife. They're married, which is really cute. Kit Harington and Rose Leslie are actually married, which is fucking adorable.
When was this?
They got married before season 8 came out. Like in between seasons. Yeah,
it's been a thing for a while.
Oh yeah, well, I think they've been kind of ambiguous about when they got together because I don't think they wanted everyone to be like, yeah, we met on set and we've been together ever since. Apparently it's like, it was kind of like, it wasn't like public until they were like, yeah, we're getting fucking married. And then everyone was like, what?
Wow. That's awesome.
Super cool, which is really awesome. They met on the set of Game of Thrones. And our love interests in Game of Thrones, probably the best love story in the show, if I'm being for real. They're definitely my favorite.
Oh yeah, because it's like it's either her and John or John and Dany, and John and Dany has that like, you know, it's like I can't really like that one.
Yeah, like my other one, like, and that's the other thing is that like it'd be Dany and like Khal Drogo, but even that has the like, oh, that started really weird.
Yeah, so this one is natural. And it wasn't like forced. It wasn't like no one was placed here and you have. Well, I guess Ygritte was supposed to die. Well, Jon didn't kill her, so yeah, it's more. This is the most genuine again, sort of start.
Striking a difference between, and I think that's what's interesting about this episode is that Jon and Theon are both the sons of the Stark family who are not Starks. You know, like they are pretty much brought up the exact same way, save for the treatment Ned gave them. And Ned treated them probably the exact fucking same, you know, like, I think it's like they were brought up the exact same way, Theon and Jon.
They're just the yin and the yang. It's to show one who is selfish and wants to take things for his own, the Iron Way, you know, or what do they call it? The
Iron, I think the Iron Way.
It's not,
right.
Because pay the iron price is whenever you have to kill some. Like that's like when you're saying you have to kill someone, right? Is
like they have to. It's kind of a tell.
Or ambiguous. Is it more ambiguous than just to kill? It's like if you say like the Lannisters have to pay the iron price, that still makes sense. You know, it's not okay. But I don't know. It's you have Theon just the absolute selfish. Like I was brought up in this castle and I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna take everything for me. And then you have Jon, the very honorable, you know, maybe too honorable sometimes.
And the way that like this comes later in the episode after Theon absolutely butchered a beheading, and Ygritte goes, strike hard and true, and he rears up and then chops right in front of her head, and they're like, let's do a little game of chase, and they have fun for a little bit. They run around in the snow. They're throwing snowballs at each other, making snow angels.
Ooh, sorry. There was just this one little point. It was almost my favorite line, and then I'm like, no, I can't choose this for my favorite line. But when Jon put his sword on her neck, she said, "That's cold." She said, "Now that because to a wildling, they know cold."
Yeah.
It just makes Valyrian steel that much cooler.
The sword looks so good.
Oh, it was shiny. It was so beautiful. So good. And it the lore is just even cooler knowing that a wildling said that it's cold. You know, Now that's cold. And then like, I love how they both look at each other, but it really just gives a nice frame to look at the sword whenever it's just against the rock and like the sun is shining on it. You see John and Egret's face,
like when
and it's like
there's that part whenever she's like, he asks her what her name is, and she goes, Egret, what's yours? I told you my name. And he turns it up at her throat, and you get like this beautiful shimmering shot of the sword up against, like, oh my god. It was like, this was damn close to being my favorite scene, which is why I gave Egret my favorite character.
Yeah.
Which is the first time a character has been introduced, and in that episode, I decided they're my favorite character.
There we go. Oh, yes, we already tracked the Zero Hodor. Forgot Arya did name a second name. What was that dude's name?
Amory Lorch.
Amory Lorch.
Yeah, Amory Lorch, how it sounds.
By Jack and Hagar. And then, okay, so now we got everything tracked. Just want to make sure there. But, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of maybe the performance. I'm still debating on my performance. That's the only thing I don't like really know yet. And I'm just waiting to see if anything hits me. And nothing has hit me out of John or Egret yet. I don't know.
I'm certain on mine, and we haven't gotten there yet. So
yeah,
but nevertheless, the reason why Egret's my favorite character hasn't even happened yet. They go ahead and they chase each other through the snow. They get separated from the group, and John tackles Egret, and she's like, "Oh, you think they're gonna like you're too far gone now, lassie? Let's go ahead and shack up for the night." And she's like, "Come on, cuddle me." You know, like
we'll be far warmer.
You gonna build a fire? Why do you want me to build a fire? You know, like the flirting hardcore back and forth. But then whenever he's spooning her and she starts moving her hips,
yeah, she's
and
he's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, just trying to get comfortable first." But then the second time, she's like, "Oh, was that me? I didn't seem to notice, really. Oopsies." Yeah. It's like, and John's like, "Okay." You know, that's the thing is like John's
next episode, their storyline starts with them waking up in this position and John's hard.
I think he did, like, whenever he first cuddled her, he had a little, like, this little shake, or like this little, like, I haven't felt the warmth of a woman for, you know, like a long, like, I think he already
never actually felt the warmth of a woman either. Like
I think that is why he's saying, like, it's not that he knows what she's trying to do. It's that he is already hard. And he's like, don't get close to me because you will, like, I think that's like the play. But then now, next, it's like, no.
I'm pretty sure, like, I'm already certain of what my favorite line of next episode is going to be, or whenever they pick this storyline up. It's like, Egret says something like, "Oh, did somebody pull a knife on me in the night?" Some shit like that. And he's like, "Oh God," he like gets up and like moves. And like, I think that's going to be, I already know that's going to be my favorite line, but,
John.
Yeah, man, John and Egret, this is the beginning of a story that I absolutely love, becomes absolutely heartbreaking. One of the only episodes of this show that truly made me like sad sob, you know? Like, because there's a lot of sad stuff that happens, but it's like in shock mostly. I'm not like crying. I'm just kind of like,
yeah. Yeah, and like the sad stuff is usually always paralleled with also just, holy fuck, I can't believe this is happening at the same time. But like, whenever, like, I don't know, whenever it's also someone that's like, it is a really good love story. Like, it's actually like, you care about these people. They're like actually the good people in the universe too. It's
Robin, like Talisa, Ned Stark, John Egret. Like, that's off the top of my head. Those three are it. Like, I don't think there's another point in the show where I like truly am sad about what I'm watching. You know, like that's about it. And this is just the beginning of that story, and it's fucking fantastic. So yeah, they're hoping they're going to find their way back to the party, but they do not.
I think I have solidified my performance, actually.
Oh yeah,
and it is through this scene, and I do think I will give it to Kit Harington, actually.
No shit.
And have they? Yeah, they've cuddled already. So they've done the running and everything, and he chased her because like when he was chasing her, he was getting around
That man got the
and like
angle of
jumping.
pursuit.
Like, yeah, so like not just the performance he had to give, just like, you know, the lines and you know, whatever. He had to actually run, actually jump, land on all that snow, and you could tell the slide whenever he like slid to get her. You could tell they did that like 10 times before. Like you could see the lines like in the snow, and then like where it happened. Like you could just but like I don't know. I think because. I don't know. I really liked John in this episode, and like he wasn't really. I couldn't really give him my favorite character. I really wanted to give the Hound the character nod for this episode, and I'm like, man, I want to get John in here somewhere. But I don't know. I think he did do a good job at playing the prude, you know, and whenever he was just talking with all the other Night's Watch guys as well, learning his lessons. And everything, like picking their brains, and his brain was being picked too. Like the conversations they were having were actually really interesting. So I don't know, not really a performance crazy anything that Kit Harington, you know, he's capable of far more.
No, yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a standout performance in this episode. Really, it's every character is just on their shit. You know, that's kind of par for the course, and we're gonna have a nice little dichotomy here. As next up, we're going to Karth, where we get my favorite performance of the episode in Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen.
Oh yeah, baby. This is after watching House of the Dragon, this scene is so much cooler.
Ooh, this is good.
Yeah.
Whenever she's like waiting for him, and like it's the way she can play like perturbed, like just pissed, but hold it back. Like, that's hard to fake. You know, like...
yeah. She does do that very well.
You can fake being pissed. You can fake... But faking being pissed and then faking holding it back, that's crazy. That's a whole other level. And she is good at it, bro. Whenever he shows up and she's like, I've been waiting for you. And he's like, I couldn't I couldn't fall asleep until the sun was shining and the birds were chirping. Fucking Spice King. What a bitch.
You know, and I had a moment of realization during this episode, and maybe we talked about it before, but I'm like, how the fuck are these dudes so goddamn rich? And why is it just like the 13? You know, why have like 13 people that have like a council? And I'm like, I wonder, they know something. These 13 people, they all know something that they hold a secret. And I think that secret is, if you go east of Karth, you get to Westeros. And their boats just show up in their ports in so they sell to Westeros and Essos. And I think that's their secret. That's how they're so rich, because it's in the middle, it's at the very end of the desert. Like, you have to go through so much shit to get there. You have to go for boat to get anywhere, to even get there from Essos, and it's so far. But if it goes to Westeros, like, and they know this, they're the only ones that know this, you know, that's how they're so rich, because I don't know. I was just like, I don't know why I was trying to think of the logistics of Karth and the 13. But I was wondering, like, how are these people so fucking rich in the middle of the desert where there is nothing around? And his ships are very
the greatest city that ever was and ever will be.
And his very important, like, his ships were that important to him. He's like, I can't give you my ships. It is how I have my money. It is how I have my power. And I don't know. I think it'd be really cool if we, you know, in like the Arya spinoff, if she shows up in Karth. Like, that's what's left of Karth after? Did Daenerys come back and fuck it up?
Daenerys did not come back and fuck up Karth. They end up looting Karth before they leave, because all the 13 end up dead by the end of the season, and they lock up Zaro Zomendoxis in his empty safe.
That's right. So is it like just taken over by the people then, I guess? So it's just kind of like
pretty much. I guess we don't really know.
So it's whatever happens.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever the fuck. Okay. That's sick. Yeah, it'd be really cool if like Arya shows up and, you know, she's sailing and she shows up in Carth, and it's like a free city now, or
Yeah.
something like that, you know. And it's like
Arya
in Carth, and
becomes
it's
the next
yeah.
Khaleesi of the Dothraki.
Whoa,
Whoa.
yeah. I don't
Now
know.
we're getting nuts. No, but the way that Emilia Clarke plays this scene with Daenerys, whenever you know, the Spice King is like, "So you have no army and you have no support in Westeros," and he's like, "It just doesn't seem likely." And she's like, "Yo, dude, I walked into a fire and came out with 3 of an extinct species. I'm fine. What the fuck do you think is going on here?"
She was spitting, you know, and she was just trying to sell her game. She has nothing. She only has 3 dragons in the promise, but like, after like Viserys and the Dreamer aspect of like the Targaryens, you know, I think like Viserys was kind of like a failed dreamer. He dreamt, but he could never act on them and make them come true. Because I think you have to have both, like as a Targaryen. If you're a dreamer,
not to mention that everyone dreams.
Yeah.
Being a Targaryen, you might have just projected importance that didn't exist.
That is true. I do feel like there is some magical dreamer aspect, and I think it's connected to Bran. If it's all time and Jon is a Targaryen and a Stark, and like I think it's like we need to protect this line to make sure Jon is born, so we must protect it. So like that's why I think the Targaryens dream and are so powerful and have been power is because you need Jon to be born, you know, or whatever. And Bran, I don't know. For everything to happen, Jon needs to be born, so you must protect the Targaryen line and you must protect the Stark line.
Right.
So that's my logical reasoning, but it could just be it's writing. Fuck it, you know, whatever the reason is. But it's my favorite scene. This is my favorite scene of the episode of Daenerys, like being like, yeah, I am no ordinary woman. My dreams come true, she says. There's my line for the episode. After she explains, I walked into the fire, you know, people looked at me, they thought I was mad. They thought I was insane. And then I walked out of that fire with 3 dragons, and now I'm on the path to the Iron Throne. My dreams come true. That was one of the best investment pitches I've ever heard in my life. You know, like, if she goes up in the Shark Tank, like in the TV show, and says that exact thing, Mark Cuban's like, all right, I'll give you $3 billion and 4 ship. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I see the vision. You are a dreamer, you know, like, holy fuck.
I'm not betting on a product. I'm betting on you.
Yeah.
You know, some shit like that. And,
I mean,
it's a fantastic scene, and again, that's why Emilia Clarke got my performance nod, because she was just too damn good in it, and she only gets better throughout the end of this episode as she returns with Zaro Zoandaxis to his mansion, where she finds her guards dead. Eerie is dead. What the fuck? Her like right hand woman dead. I'm pissed.
There was also a line from Daenerys right here that was almost my favorite, where she was like, man, the Spice King won't even give me his boats because he thinks I'm not good enough. Someone won't do this because of blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and then this guy wants to give me a ship, but I have to sleep with him for a night. And he's like, do you think I'm going to whore myself for a boat? And then it's like, oh my God, everyone's dead. Where are my dragons? And I'm I don't know.
Where are my dragons? I was like, yo, Emilia Clarke is nuts.
Yeah. She, like, that is, you know, I don't know. Those are her children. Like, that is a scream that you hear, like, a mother saying, like, where are my children? You know, like, where's my like, where's my kid? Where, like, she did that, but for dragons. And that, like, you're right. Like, she does deserve the performance for this episode.
She did too damn good, man.
But I don't know. We got Kit Harington and Daenerys for this episode. So
I was also trying to spread the love. There were just a couple things that I couldn't. You know, I was like, yeah, got to be Emilia Clarke here. She's very good, and I've actually had a good run of a different actor every week for me, and it looks like.
Oh. Well, I go in runs of 2, and then I switch it up. So I got Tyrion 2 weeks in a row for the kickoff of the season, and then Kit Harington 2 weeks in a row, this week and last week.
There you go.
But I'll switch it up next week and the week after if patterns.
Only if you need to.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe John goes off. A man without honor. That doesn't seem like John. So I don't know if that's his episode, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what happens with John like this season, like at the end. Like what's the big John thing? Is there even a big John thing at the end of this season? I don't know. I don't even want to really think about it. I want it to hit me.
Just experience it. Let it wash over you
yeah,
again.
Yeah.
But so I think that leaves us with nothing but a rating for this episode. After we watch that hooded figure carry the dragons up towards a tower.
The House of the Undying. I've taken them to the house. This dude's just so weird. What a weird Squidward looking dude. Anyway, yeah.
The Earth is closed today.
Okay.
But yeah, so for the rating, I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Whoa.
In most respects, like this is one of the best of the show so far for my money.
Yeah. Enjoyment wise, this was a lot of just like, holy fuck, this is happening, and I'm glued to the screen the whole time. I think that it's the best of the season, enjoyment wise, so far. And that means the floor is a 9. I'm pretty comfortable just giving it a 10. I don't think I have any hesitation enjoyment wise. I
wanted to go 10. So if you're comfortable going 10, I'm cool with that. I was ready to make a sell for it, but if you're already comfortable, that only makes it our second 10 of the show.
Yeah, no sumai necessary for this episode. It's a 10. No, because I was like, I know it's the best of the season. And that means it's a 9 at least. And I'm like, I'm not really.
No, yeah, this is a surefire 10 in 2 categories, and that's genre and enjoyment for me.
Yeah. That one was even easy. Like, I don't know, they're both pretty easy, but the genre was like, if this isn't a 10 in the genre, I don't know what is. Like, if this isn't an episode of Thrones that gets you just like riled up in every way, like, I guess we got Ghost. I guess we got the dragons in their cages. So we got both of the fantasy aspects that are on screen this episode, technically. But like, that's just on the side. That doesn't matter. It's all of the character interactions
takes
here.
Winterfell. Daenerys' dragons are stolen. Everything in King's Landing. Like,
Arya and Tywin in Littlefinger. Like,
man.
And like, Arya and Tywin are actually like friendly to each other is the thing. Like, Arya kind of like smiles sometimes, like after like some things that Tywin
pays her a compliment and she's like, yeah, like, I did deserve that. So like
character interactions that we are not going to get much of any longer. Like we're not going to get.
After she leaves, they never see each other again. That's never an interaction that happens again.
This is a definitely a 10 out of 10 there. Now
this marks only the second episode of the show for us so far to have 2 10s. And it's the only other one was Baelor, season 1, episode 9.
That makes sense.
That's pretty high praise for season 2, episode 6.
Another episode in which we remembered Ned got his head cut off, but we were like, I don't remember what else happens at all, and so much happened that we were like, holy fuck, so this episode was stacked. And this episode's the same exact thing. It's like, we didn't even remember one big event that came from this. We were just like, oh, I don't really remember what happens next, whatever, okay. But then we were like, oh my god, this episode's stacked. So, yeah.
And I don't think, while this episode was written incredibly well, I don't think the Nutman was bringing a whole bunch to the visual side of things. I think he got a lot out of his actors. And I think the writing was really good, but visually I'm not left floored or anything. And I remember Baelor specifically being like, holy shit, visually this episode is brilliant. So my ceiling for this is a 9.
Yeah. And I was trying to think if dropping to the 8s, like, cause they did have to accomplish a lot in this episode. Like, and they're not like, I don't think the shots were lazy necessarily. They still had a lot of beautiful, like, Jon and his sword, like Wolfsbane was popping, was looking really good. So like it wasn't lacking per se, but, definitely not top tier. I think 9 is where I'm at, though. I don't think 8 anything is fair because of how good the writing was, and just like I don't like the amount that they actually accomplished in this episode is just impressive. The amount of storytelling they told, like Theon's story progression is insane.
Yeah.
This episode, John and Ygritte is the beginning of it. Like, I don't know. There's so many things that happened that were so good.
No, yeah, I'm 100% down for a 9.
Yeah,
and that brings it to
a 9.67. So, is that
97%?
That is Baylor is 9.83, and yeah, that's the only other highest one. It'd be Fire and Blood, the season finale, at a 9.5. No, yeah, at a 9.5 would be the next closest, and then it's this one. This is number
best episode of the show so far,
which I'd agree with. I think
I think so too. Like watching it, I was floored by how good this episode was.
Oh yeah,
it deserves all the praise. It actually got an 8.9 on IMDb, which is the highest of the season besides the last 2 of the season. And it is higher than none of the last 5 episodes of the first season on IMDb.
Well, let's see. On good old Rotten Tomatoes, this is given 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I was like, there are some episodes where they've given it 100, and I'm like, don't know how they determine that.
That's just, I don't know.
97 for us. That's a good one. That is a goodie.
And we did say that the pattern of Thrones is usually the end half of the season is where they ramp it up, and then it just keeps going. You know, it's just bang, 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 and we hit massively. So I don't know. I remember what happens in Blackwater, obviously.
Hey man, the rest of season 2 is kind of a mystery to me.
Yeah, other than Blackwater and really Valar Morghulis, I know that's like with the like Jack and Hagar and like I know where that, but I don't know I don't know what happens there actually. Like I'm trying to think of like what even happens in the finale. I know Blackwater. I know the big boom. That's all I know for the rest of the season, basically. Yeah. So I don't know. This is going to be a really interesting rewatch for season 2 because so much happened this episode that I didn't even think happened until the end of this season. So
right. No man, I'm in.
Ready.
I'm in. I'm having a great fucking time, and I'm so happy to be rewatching it. But with that, I think we will conclude this episode of Winter is Blooming. If you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBlood, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including all sorts of movie reviews and comic book pull lists every week or 2 weeks, book reviews, all sorts of content. 50 hours is conservative. I've been saying that for like 6 months now, mostly because I got tired of keeping track. If you would, that would be a huge help. $3 a month. You can support this podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. And the 4 people who are over there right now, thank you very much. You are sweethearts. All right. And with that, if you would, head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you are listening and download the episodes. We are booking it as far as downloads are concerned this month. February is already a top 5 month all time for us, and that's as of a week ago.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And we are pumping out the content, so there's a balance there. A lot more episodes in February than most months on average, but we thank you so much. We thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be doing it for you, and we love seeing the benefits of our work. So thank you so much. You're fucking with me and Joe. We're covering The Bad Batch on Wednesdays right now. We got The Last of Us episodes 4 through 6 coming up soon, probably next Wednesday. Looking forward to that. We got the comic book journey through film going on right now. Last week was Howard the Duck, and we were joined by my dad for a nice little comic book project discussion. which was so much fun. So Howard the Duck just last Friday, and this Friday brings us to Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, which I enjoy. I'll be straight up with you. I like that movie.
It was
It's not the greatest, but I like it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. We're probably going to do a few other things throughout the week, just because we're on a roll right now, and we're liking what we're doing. So whatever's coming this week, just make sure you check it all out.
The draft part 2 or part 3.
Ooh, the comic book character draft concludes on Thursday.
It does. Yeah, it is over.
All right.
But yeah, James Gunn's
and then we got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania coming this weekend.
That's right. Yeah. Wow.
Which means we'll have a new Patreon episode discussing that within the next couple weeks, I'm sure. There we go. As soon as we both get a chance to see it. It is my girlfriend's birthday this weekend, so that'll probably be. It is literally Thursday, the day that we would go see it. Which, if she wants to, we'll go see it on Thursday. I doubt that's the case, though.
Yeah. Who knows? You never
then we're
know.
heading out to St. Louis this weekend, so busy weekend. I'll probably get to it Monday if I'm being for real.
All right.
So yeah, we'll get a chance to discuss it on Patreon soon.
Oh yeah.
And I look forward to it. With that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And now I've struck a king. Did my hand fall from my wrist?